There's a certain kind of person who feels most alive when the world goes quiet. Someone who doesn't fear being alone, but sinks into it like a warm light. They aren't running from people, and they aren't hiding from life. They simply feel most themselves when the noise fades and the pressure to perform disappears. They're the ones who can spend hours lost in thought, who feel more drained by surface-level conversation than by silence, who would rather sit with their own mind than force themselves into places where they don't belong, and society often mislabels them. Too distant, too quiet, too self-contained. But Carl Jung believed something very different, that people who enjoy solitude are not escaping the world, but reconnecting with the deepest parts of their psyche, because solitude isn't emptiness for them, it's clarity. It's the one place where they can breathe without being watched, think without interruption, feel without judgment. So if you are someone who has always preferred the company of your own thoughts, this video is for you. People who like to be alone are often misunderstood as lonely, but the truth is almost always the opposite. They are not lonely at all. They are selective. They don't avoid people. They avoid the wrong people. They don't crave isolation. They crave depth. They have no interest in relationships built on convenience, noise, or surface-level connection. Their mind picks up on every subtle shift in tone, every unspoken expectation, every emotional inconsistency. And because of that, being around others drains them faster than most. They don't want a crowd. They want authenticity. They don't want attention. They want resonance. Carl Jung believed that introverted souls protect their energy not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because they know how easily the wrong company can pull them away from their inner world. For them, solitude isn't a lack of connection. It's a filter. It keeps out the noise, the superficiality, the performance, and leaves room only for the people who feel truly safe, genuine, and aligned. They aren't avoiding love. They're waiting for the kind of love that won't require them to shrink or pretend. People who like to be alone aren't empty or detached. They are often the ones who feel the most. Their inner world is rich, layered, and constantly in motion. They think in long arcs, not quick impulses. They process experiences slowly and fully instead of brushing past them. Because of this, they often need solitude the way others need rest. It's where their emotions settle, where clarity forms, where insights surface. They prefer to sit with their feelings rather than numb them, to understand their pain instead of running from it. Carl Jung believed that solitude is the doorway to the unconscious, the place where your real self finally speaks. And those who are comfortable being alone are usually the ones brave enough to listen. They don't drown themselves in distractions or noise. They explore their memories, their patterns, their wounds, their dreams. Their thoughts are not a cage, but a landscape, wide, quiet, and alive. This depth can be overwhelming to others, but for them, it's simply natural. They don't fear the intensity of their inner life. They find truth in it. People who enjoy being alone aren't indifferent. They're simply done paying the emotional price of chaos. They value peace more than attention, and that changes everything about the way they move through the world. They've seen what loud, unpredictable, draining environments do to their nervous system, and they've learned to protect their inner calm the way others protect their reputation. They don't chase approval. They don't need constant social stimulation, and they don't feel empty without noise around them. Instead, they gravitate toward quiet evenings, slow mornings, meaningful conversations, and spaces where their mind isn't overstimulated. Carl Jung believed that inner peace is not a luxury, it's a psychological necessity, and those who seek solitude are often the ones who understand this instinctively. They would rather be alone with their thoughts than surrounded by people who make them feel unseen or misunderstood. They're not rejecting the world. They're rejecting environments that disturb their equilibrium. And once they've tasted that level of inner peace, external validation feels small by comparison. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. People who like to be alone often have an extraordinary ability to observe themselves with honesty and clarity. While others rush through life without noticing their own behaviors, these individuals pause, reflect, and question. They notice their triggers, their patterns, their insecurities, and the subtle shifts in their energy. Solitude becomes a mirror, one that doesn't lie. Carl Jung believed that when we are alone, the shadow finally steps into view, the parts of ourselves we hide, deny, or suppress. But instead of running from these parts, solitude seekers study them. They examine why certain things hurt, why certain people drain them, why certain situations feel unsafe. This self-awareness doesn't make them distant, it makes them grounded. And this is why they seem older than their age, quieter in their confidence, and deeper in their understanding of life. They aren't afraid to face themselves, and that is something very few people are capable of. They find truth in silence, growth in reflection, and strength in knowing who they really are when no one is watching. People who enjoy being alone often experience silent transformations that others never witness. While many distract themselves with noise, entertainment, or constant movement, these individuals retreat inward, not to disappear, but to evolve. Solitude becomes their cocoon, a place where old versions of themselves gently fall away. They think about who they've been, who they've become, and who they no longer wish to be. They shed beliefs, habits, identities, and relationships that no longer serve their growth. Carl Jung believed that true transformation comes from confronting the unconscious, and solitude is the doorway into that hidden world. Those who embrace time alone are often the ones who rebuild themselves from the inside out, quietly, intentionally, and without needing applause. When they return to the world, they often feel lighter, clearer, more aligned with their values. They don't reinvent themselves to impress others. They do it to feel whole, real, and authentically alive. And in a society that fears change, their ability to reshape their inner world is a rare kind of courage. People who enjoy being alone don't love often, but when they do, they love with a depth that surprises others. Because they are comfortable in their own company, they never enter relationships out of loneliness or fear of being alone. They connect slowly, intentionally, carefully. They don't chase, they don't cling, and they don't pretend. Their love is gentle, steady, and sincere, like a quiet flame that burns without demanding attention. They value emotional safety more than excitement, honesty more than performance, depth more than drama. And because they understand themselves so well, they rarely expect someone else to complete them. Carl Jung believed that the most meaningful relationships come from two whole individuals, not two halves seeking to fill a void. People who love solitude embody this naturally. They can stand on their own, yet they choose connection, not out of need, but out of truth. When they give their heart, it's because they see something real in you, something aligned, something intimate, something safe. They love fewer people, but more deeply than most. So if you're someone who feels most yourself in silence, someone who prefers depth over noise, truth over performance, and peace over attention, understand this: there is nothing wrong with you. Solitude is not a sign of emptiness. It's a sign of inner richness. It means you can sit with yourself without fear. and it means you're building a relationship with the one person who will never leave you, yourself. As Carl Jung believed, the ability to be alone is one of the rarest forms of strength. If this video spoke to you, subscribe for more, give it a like, and tell me in the comments, do you enjoy being alone? And what does solitude mean to you? I read every message. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.